Hi and Assalamualaikum. Welcome to our group. Okay, this is my group members for business statistic. Okay, first, my name is Najah binti Muhammad Nur. Second, Nur Hayati binti Muhammad Yusuf. Third is Nur Afika binti Arifin. Next is Nur Fatin Afini binti Mak Fuad. Nurul Izzah binti Zulkifli. And the last one is Siti Sarah binti Shamsuddin. Okay, for part A, we are choosing the labor force by age group in Negeri Sembilan for year from 1999 to 2004. Okay, to determine class weight, the formula is 2 2k must bigger than n, so n equal 60. Okay, so we try 2 power of 6. 2 power of 6 equals 64. So 64 bigger than 60. So we are choosing 2 power of 6 equals 64. So class weight we choose is 10. Okay, frequency distribution and relative frequency. For frequency distribution, the important one is class and frequency. Okay, the class is we are choose the class we if is 10. So the minimum is 66.2. So we are start with 6.2 until 15.2. The second is 16.2 until 25.2 until the last. Okay. Okay, for the frequency, for the first is 6.2 until 15.2 if is 12. So we calculate one by one until the sum of frequency is 60. Okay, so relative frequency, the important is class frequency and relative frequency. Okay, after the total of the frequency is sum of frequency is 60. So how to calculate the relative frequency? The relative frequency is use the formula which is the relative frequency divided by sum of frequency. So we will get the answer. Okay, for example, 12 divided by 16 equal by 0.2. Okay, the of the relative frequency must sum of frequency divided by n must equal by 1. If more than 1, the calculate of relative frequency, which means wrong. Okay, the data using graph, first we are choosing polygon. The second we are choosing ogive.
Question number 3. Find and explain the value, which is measure of central tendency, measure of variation, and measure of position. Hence, determine the shape of data distribution. A measure of central tendency is a value of represents the center of a distribution. We most commonly use a measure central tendency by mean, median, and mode. In the following sections, we will look at how to calculate the mean, median, and mode for group data. Mean. Mean is the statistical term referred to the mean or average that is used to calculate the data's central tendency. The arithmetic average is calculated by dividing the sum of all values in the data set by the number of values. The formula for the mean is going to be the sum of the product of the frequency values times by x, which is midpoint, divided by n, which is total of the frequency, equal 2072, divided by 60, equal by 34.53. Next, median. When the data values are arranged numerically, it refers to the middle value. When there are an number of data entries, the median is the value in the middle of the list. If a number is present, the median is the mean of the two middle data entries. There are 5 steps to calculate median. Step first is determine the location of the median class. The formula is n divided by 2 equals 60 divided by 2 equals 30 observations. Therefore, the median class is 36.2 until 45.2. Step 2 is determine the lower class boundary, which is 36.2 minus 0.5 equals 35.7. Step 3 is determine the class size or class width, which is C equals 45.7 minus 35.7 equals 10. Step 4 is determine sum Fm minus 1 and Fm. Sum Fm minus 1 equals 26 and Fm equals 13. The formula for median is Lm plus n divided by 2 minus sum Fm minus 1 divide Fm times class size equals 35.7 plus 60 divide 2 minus 26 divide 13 times 12 equals 39.39. Next is mood, the data entry that happens the most frequently. The data set has no mood if no entry is a repeat. If two entries occur with the same highest frequency, each entry is referred to as a mode and the data set is referred to as a bimodal. There are 5 steps to calculate mood. Step first is determine the location of the model class based on the highest frequency. Therefore, the model class is 46.2 until 55.2. Step 2 is determine the lower class's boundary, which is 45.7. Step 3 is determine class size or class width, which is C equals 55.7 minus 45.7 equals 10. Step 4 is determine the sum 1 and the sum 2. To calculate the sum 1 is upper boundaries minus the second upper boundaries, which is 90 minus 13 equals 6. And the sum 2 is to calculate the sum 2 is upper boundaries minus lower boundaries, which is 19 minus 2 equals 17. Step 5 is calculate the mode. The formula for mode is Lm plus the sum 1 divided by the sum 1 plus the sum 2 times by class size equal 45.7 plus 6 divide 6 plus 17 times 10 equal 48.31. Next is measure of variation. The measure of the variation is a measure of central tendency in which some parameters attempt to explain the amount of variation among random variables. The range, variance, and standard deviation were always used as parameters in the measure of variation. Range. The range function was used to find the difference between the maximum and minimum data values in the set. Range equal maximum data entry minus minimum data entry equal 75.2 minus 6.2 equal 96. Therefore, the range of labor force by age group in Negeri Sembilan 1999 until 2004 is about 99. This table shows you how to calculate variance and standard deviation. The right side is formula of variance. The answer of the variance is S power of 2 equals 24,509.88. The standard deviation is S equal square root S power of 2 equals square root 24,509.88 equals 156.57. Therefore, the sample variance for labour force by age group in Negeri Sembilan 1999 until 2004 is about 24,509.88 and the standard deviation is about 156.57. Okay, next we will see about the measure of position. The position of a data value inside a data collection on its relative position in contrast to other data values is determined by the measure of the position. Percentile, decile, and quartile are the most popular position metric. This table shows the quartile. This is the way to get the quartile 1 and quartile 3. For the step 1, we must to find the location of quartile 1 and quartile 3. And the step 2, we should to find the value of quartile 1 and quartile 3. This is the shape of data distribution of the labour force by age group in Negeri Sembilan, and it shows mean, median, mode. For the mean, 34.53, for the median 39.39, and the lastly mode 48.31. And we get the shape is it is non-symmetry bimodal distribution. Thank you.
In this slide, I will explain our part B. In part B, we need to find one set of data that have one independent variable and one dependent variable. So our independent variable is unit sold and dependent variable is price. Next, we need to find sample size that not greater than 100 but must be at least 30. In this part, our sample size is 36.
Next, I would like to present question 3, product moment collection coefficient table. X over 2, y over 2, and xy must be related, and you can see the table. There are 5 columns which show total number of every column. Let the sum of x equal 147.38. The sum of x over 2 equals 651.480. The sum of y equals 4182. The sum of y over 2 equals 617593. And the last one, the sum of xy equals 292,580.58.
Next, after recording out total numbers of the table, we use percent collection coefficient formula, find collection between price and unit sold. As you can see, the slab total we got on the table, we calculate using this formula. So, B1 percent collection coefficient and N number of oration, which is 36 weeks of data. After calculate the according final answer, and we got is B1 equal to 258.91, which is we can conclude there is strong positive correlation at 258.91 between price and units. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurhayati binti Muhammad Yusuf. My metric number is HFT20203. Now, I will present part B number 4. The question is, develop the estimate regression equation, then interpret the regression equation, calculate manually. Firstly is estimate regression equation. B1 is 15,524.66 minus 4,182 in bracket 147.38 close bracket divide 36 and then divide 546,520 minus in bracket 4,182 divide the 36. The answer is negative 0.02. Then 4.094 minus in bracket negative 0.026 multiply 116.167. The equal is 7.114. The regression equation is 7.114 minus 0.026. Slope B1 is negative 0.026. For every price as decrease in the sale, the number of units sold of the products will decrease about negative 0.026. Constants B equal 7.7114. When the price S is 0, the number of units sold of the product is 7.114. That's all from me. Thank you.